Well, good morning. I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News, coming to you from our digital desk. It is time for Cuyahoga's Most Wanted. Every week, we feature 3 fugitives that are on the run here in our area, and they need to be in a courtroom facing serious charges. Let's bring in Detective Red Dyer with the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department. Detective, how are you today?
Doing excellent, Dan. Trying to keep warm. It's all snowing outside now.
Yeah, it's November and we should expect some snowflakes. Red, this is a great partnership with Crime Stoppers of Cuyahoga County. Why do we do this every week?
Well, Dan, we recognize the value in our community, the eyes and ears and information that they can provide to us. It helps build community trust, helps us work with our neighborhoods and the people in them to help clean them up, make it a safer place for everybody, and it opened up the possibility for a potential reward, which we'll get into later.
Yeah, this is really all about cleaning up our streets, our community, making it safer for families. Let's get to our first case. Red, we talk a lot about weapons. We see a lot of different weapons used. I'm not sure. We've had a ton of weapons, varying guns, knives, lamps, frying pans. Not sure if we've ever had an axe, so this may be a new one. Let's get to the case of Adam Fielding. What do we know?
Well, Dan, what we know about Adam Fielding is that according to reports, in July of this year, Mr. Fielding threatened the victim as well as swung an axe at the victim, causing the axe to strike the ground. And like you've said, we've seen numerous different weapons used on Crime Stoppers, from bottles to bricks to pointed combs. But in this case, we're talking about an axe, very dangerous and deadly weapon potentially when somebody's wielding it that way. He then grabbed the victim and took the victim to the ground and even used the axe to break a window at the victim's residence. He failed to appear for court supervised release as ordered as a condition of his bond, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. He's approximately 6'4" and 220 pounds, so he is by no means a small individual, and was last known to be staying in the 3500 block of West 48th Street in the city of Cleveland.
Yeah, an axe being used as a weapon, you can just imagine the damage that could be done there. Let's get to our second case, Red. What do we know about Donte Stiles?
Well, Dan, Mr. Stiles is wanted for a felonious assault and aggravated robbery case. Reports state that in February of this year, he actually struck the victim in the head with a handgun. So very dangerous situation, using a deadly weapon as a blunt object. He failed to appear for court and a warrant was issued for his arrest. He actually has an extensive criminal history with the Sheriff's Department, Dan, going back to 2001. So we definitely want him off the streets and in a courtroom in front of a judge. He's approximately 5'8" and 196 pounds and was last known to be staying in the 19,400 block of Libby Road in the city of Maple Heights.
Red, we haven't talked about this in a while, but when we give that last known or his last residence, that's just a guide to go on. Probably not still in that same area, but if he is, that gives people sort of an indicator where to keep their eyes out, or yeah, I've seen that guy in my neighborhood. Good to get tips generated that way. Let's get to our third and final fugitive, Temeka Grant. What do we know?
Well, Dan, Miss Grant may be going by the name Temeka Walker. This case is from an incident that's alleged to have occurred on the 4th of July, actually in 2020. Reports in that case state that Temeka strangled the victim, causing them serious harm, and even took their cell phone out of their pocket. She has a criminal history with the Sheriff's Department dating back to 1995, so she's also no stranger to law enforcement. She may be identified by the facial piercings that can be seen in her booking photos. She's approximately 5'1" and 150 pounds and was last known to be staying in the 800 block of East 105th Street in the city of Cleveland.
Red, we always talk about how this program is anonymous. Why should someone feel comfortable calling into Crime Stoppers of Cuyahoga County?
Well, Dan, as we discuss every week, we don't record the phone calls, we don't take down your name, we don't use caller ID. We don't want any of your personal identifying information. In fact, when you contact us, all information that we use through you is referenced to an anonymous tip number that's provided to you, so your information is never exchanged with us.
Very easy. Phone number 216-252-7463. Also 216-25-CRIME is what that spells out. Detective, these people are innocent until proven guilty, but when you face charges like swinging an axe at someone, we want you off our street, and it is a simple anonymous phone call that could get you up to a $5,000 reward. Red, what do we like people to know when we start talking about that reward money?
That crime doesn't pay, but Crime Stoppers does.
incredibly talented group of individuals, not only at the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department, but all over Northeast Ohio. Your tips can be helping agencies all over, from Lake to Lorain to Ashtabula, down to Summit and Stark County. That's how far-reaching this program is. So this is not just a Cleveland and Cuyahoga County issue. Detective, we certainly appreciate it. We will be off next week for the holidays, so hoping you and yours and everybody there at Crime Stoppers has a good Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Dan. You also have a great Thanksgiving.
All right, take care, Red. That's going to wrap it up for Cuyahoga's Most Wanted for this week. Again, any tips are anonymous. 216-252-7463. If we have any other breaking news, it's going to be right here on our digital platforms. Until then, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News. Have a great day.
19 News is everywhere. Download our CTV apps and follow us on social media at Cleveland 19 News.
Alrighty, Red, Patricia, I think we